Hi, I'm Adam Johns from the Chicago Sun-Times. He's Mark Potash, and welcome back to another season of the Bears Video Mailbag, where we answer your questions from social media. All right, Mark, let's start with Jay Cutler, and this one's from William on Twitter. When will Cutler stop throwing off his back foot? He did it all day against the Buffalo Bills. As for the 49ers, well, we're going to lose.
Well, actually, that's an easy one, Adam. Jay Cutler will never stop throwing off his back foot. That's what he does. He's used to doing it. He's been successful doing it. And just like Brett Favre throwing across the middle, he's going to do it even when it burns him.
He's got elite arm strength. I think that's the main thing here. And he believes in his arm strength maybe too much, trying to fit it in windows that aren't there and trying to make completions that can't be completed.
That's the problem with throwing off your back foot is when you do that, you're not stepping into the throw. You don't have quite the velocity that you normally think you do. So it throws a lot of quarterbacks off, even the best of them. And Cutler is obviously a very good quarterback, but that's why it's a cardinal sin, because it throws you off as far as how fast you're throwing the ball, and then defenders have more time to pick him off. I think that's kind of what happened.
We know Roberto Garza suffered an ankle injury against the Buffalo Bills. So this question is from Dan Welter. Is Brian De La Puente an upgrade over Roberto Garza? So let me start with this one. Is the Bears are strong believers in Brian De La Puente. They didn't sign him to a minimum deal. It was a minimum deal plus $1. That $1 is very important because it allows the Bears to re-sign him before the end of the year. They can extend him. He doesn't have to go to the free agent market like Josh McCown. So Aaron Kromer's familiar with Brian De La Puente from the Saints. He could do different things. He could be at center. He could be a guard. And they like what they see in him.
And technically, statistically, he was an upgrade. I think Michael Ola and Brian De La Puente were their leading offensive linemen, at least according to Pro Football Focus, which I think is a pretty good judgment. So that was what that was, I think, an interesting facet of the game was they really were somewhat seamless on the offensive line with those two injuries. They can't take any injuries with the wide receivers. That's where they're going to get hurt. But on the offensive line, I think they did very well. That was the one area where they could they could take an injury, and I think they did.
All right, let's move to defense here. This is from Joe Barzak on Twitter. Do you think the coaches will use Willie Young more? He was very active in the limited time compared to the other starting defensive end, Jared Allen.
I think a lot of that was that, Jared Allen it was his first game, and it looked like his first game. He, like Mark Trustman said, he tried hard. That's basically he gave an effort, but, he's not in great shape because he didn't play. He only played 28 snaps in the preseason.
He's historically a slow starter.
And, he's got, in his last 7 opening games, he has a total of 1/2 a sack. So this is not uncommon. So I agree, Willie Young, he looked very active. I saw a better Willie Young with the Bears than I did with the Lions, to tell you the truth. So I think he'll get a better shot, but I think the Bears are still going to stick with Houston and Allen because I think they know what they've got there. So I think it's going to be a good, at least 3-man rotation. You could say that.
The so-called problem with Willie Young in Detroit was he just wasn't getting the snaps needed to make an impact. But the Bears go to their NASCAR package where they have Willie Young and Jared Allen at defensive end, and they move Lamar Houston to defensive tackle. So snaps won't be a problem here for the Bears. Now we got to talk about the linebackers, and this one's from Chris Trier. Thoughts on the starting linebacker speed against the Niners? Bostic, maybe even Jones. We know a lot of read option is coming their way with Colin Kaepernick, and the read option has given the Bears problems with no matter who's running it. Russell Wilson had success against them in the preseason. He had success against them in the regular season a couple of years ago when Brian Urlacher is here. Whoever's on the field, they don't have an answer for it. It makes the players make decisions, split decisions, fast decisions on the field, and they struggle with this.
Well, 2 things there. First of all, DJ Williams, I did not think had a very good game at all on Sunday. So I think that's an area, and he didn't get that many snaps.
Wait, 22 snaps, 0 tackles?
Yeah, so I think that's an area where you can plug Bostic in. It makes sense. Bostic is a lot faster, and you've got to find a spot for John Bostic. The only way he's going to get good is by being a regular player. And last year when he was a regular, he didn't have the support around him to really survive or to thrive. And so I think now he does. I think this is the right spot. I'm not saying they should absolutely make that move because I don't know what DJ Williams' situation was on Sunday, but I think that's an opportunity. It's a good point, actually, to get Bostic on the field, especially against a team like the 49ers. Let's see what he can do.
Thanks for watching this edition of the Bears Video Mailbag. Keep those questions coming in. He's Mark Potash. I'm Adam Johns. Thanks for watching.